crazy for a man to look an idiot. Imagine being a man, lonely and failing at life, telling other men don't get married because you want someone to be miserable with you. Because you know if they get married, they go further.
Let me tell y'all fellas something real quick, man. Making these videos is so easy to me. It's so easy to me because, like, literally, like 5 minutes ago, I'm just scrolling social media. This comes across the screen. And I didn't make it much further than this point right here before I was like, no, we got to load this up and we got to react to this, because you'll see stuff like this. And the reason it's so easy is because women put up such poor arguments. And it's just, I'm not going to lie to you, it'd be kind of triggering because it's like, wait a minute. So we just going to start calling these dudes lonely and failures and stuff like that, guys who say don't get married and stuff like that. We just going to, we going to do that first. We going to shame them. We going to shame them for being broke failures and stuff like that. That's the first thing that she did. And then the reasoning that she said, the guys are not recommending marriage, is because other men will be successful. Like, other men will get further. So we're trying to hold men back by telling them not to get married. It's like they don't watch any content. They don't soak up anything that anybody is saying. They don't rebuttal things that people actually say, like, oh, man, you'll get took up top in divorce. How about just that? How about people saying, no, prenups really don't work? How about you debating, no, prenups do work, or you shouldn't have to get a prenup? Like, how about debating that instead of just making up a fucking straw man and just pulling some shit out of thin air? It's nonsensical. And this be the shit that be going viral. And listen, I haven't even looked at the comments for this post, but we gonna look at the comments together because it's so ridiculous. But really, like, she can't really believe in her heart that men are like women and we are in competition and we are just trying to kill the competition by telling them not to get married. Like, nobody is competing to get married to anybody. Like, that's not what the dudes will compete to get coochie. Dudes will dirty mac and all types of stuff, but nobody is trying to cut somebody down from getting married so that they can swoop in and marry a chick. Like, no man is trying to tell a man, like, none. No man nowhere on the planet are telling men not to get married because they want to see men fail and not go further with marriage. It's like really stupid.
You know, when they go married, they have more favor than you. So now you don't want him to surpass you. So now we got these girls with these boyfriends and he will not marry him. And that's why every 5 years, women have to change the way they date. So 5 years ago, you could meet a man and exclusively date him until he married you because you knew he eventually would. You can't do that no more.
You had time.
You better have your roster.
Fam, the state of dating has changed 10 years ago. It's not every 5 years. And even then, dating was in bad shape then. Like, you didn't start, like, 5 years ago wasn't so good that a chick could just move around without a roster or a dude could move around with, like, that was already going on. What is she talking about? What is she like just now is so much worse than 5 years ago. There are reasons that it may be a little bit worse than 5 years ago, but 5 years ago wasn't like, oh yeah, you could just date somebody and then get, no. That was not 5 years ago. You want to talk about that? That was 1977. That's when that was. That might have even been 1980 something. You'll be lucky to say it was 1990 something. By the time we get to the 2000s, we begin to see peak debauchery, especially in the black community.
You better have your roster. And you don't need a man on it for more than 90 days.
Ooh.
If 90 days go by and he's still, what you doing, beautiful? Bye, block. You got 90 days. Show me something. We grown, especially when you're 30 and up.
Time is of the essence, man.
Oh, no. We 30 and up. But that's why, I told women, have a roster and don't do in-person dates. If you meet a man.
I got to let you know, this is blowing my mind right now. I'm going to just let her cook for the rest because it's just too ridiculous. I've never heard anybody say don't do in-person dates. Like, I've said, bro, you don't got to date these chicks, but don't do in-person dates. What is, like, yo. And I've heard of Six the Goddess, but I don't know who she is. I don't know where I heard of her from. We gon' yeah, we gonna keep this going though.
And you know what they're gonna do? Oh, you want to have dinner tomorrow? No. We need to talk on the phone.
Yep.
Okay. And I said, we gotta go back in the day,
Yep.
how you had to come sit in the living room. Okay. I want to back in the day, if a man want to come see me, you got to come to the living room, my mama. Okay. And come talk to her. You had to call my phone, call the phone, the house phone, talk to my mama and say, hey, Miss Nelson,
Yep.
can I talk to her?
You
So
gotta know
I
how to
said,
speak.
we need that buffer back.
Social skills too, though. That takes social skills. Having a call, ring the doorbell, talk to your mom, be personable, talk
Not
to the
even DM.
family.
Men will literally see a woman, not say shit and be like, y'all help me find her. She was right there.
I mean, it's just so much that she said. The fact that, you know, she 48 talking about some, oh man, you gotta sit in the living room with my mom. Cause I'm not gonna lie. When she said you gotta come to my living room, my first thought was, oh, you gonna get fucked in that living room. Cause if I'm coming straight to the crib and we linking, like, I might not try to crack the first time. I might. But by the second, third time max, definitely gonna do that. Definitely gonna do that. But so going back and listening to some of that, what I'm gonna assume that she meant as far as the 5 years, I may have misinterpreted that. Like, you know, 5 years ago, she may be referring to age. Like, okay, you was 23, so you had time, and you was dating one guy, and and it could have worked out, but it didn't. Now that you in your 30s, or now that you approaching your 30s, you gotta have a roster and this is what it come down to. Hypergamy, just them trying to maximize to find the best option that they could find. That's really it. It's that simple. But I'm not coming to meet your mom or nothing like that. Like, listen, I don't know what type of, like, because I can guarantee you this chick is not married. I can guarantee you that. So it'd be like, I don't know why chicks be getting advice from these other people, like as far as these dating gurus and stuff. Like, 'cause it's funny when you look at the female end of the spectrum, most of the people that give them information are grifters, panderers, and just people that give them horrible information that's going to lead them astray for more years. As much as people hate Kevin Samuels had results. Kevin Samuels had couples getting married and stuff like that, and he always bragged about that. So it's been a grip since I went through some comments, but we got to go through these comments. So 70% of women file for divorce. That's the first one. Using men to justify promiscuity, okay? And that's really what it is. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta go and talk to all these different dudes and da-da-da-da-da. These chicks gonna be fucking the dudes, but she didn't say to fuck the dudes, so whatever. Another person comments, this is exactly why men don't marry. Why would a man want to commit to a woman who has a roster? Factless. And see, that's the thing that women don't understand. They don't understand how much men value not just exclusivity, but a clean Hofax, a Hofax that comes back relatively clean. Another comment says, I get more married men telling me don't get married. So what is that? What is that? Because those guys are not competing. Like, because she said, oh, because you don't want the other guys to be successful because you know they come up. These are miserable guys. Guys don't have no incentive as far as married men to tell other dudes to not get married. It's genuine advice coming from a real place. Somebody told me the other day, don't have kids. And the reason that they said that is because they're going through some stuff with their kids. They're going through some stuff with their kids. That didn't come from a place of him like, oh man, we know kids make men more responsible, so I want to keep Dumper from being responsible. That's weird. That's a weird frame of mind. But what she's trying to do, she's trying to take the narrative from when female friends will see their girl in a relationship and then try to cut down her boyfriend. Because the thing is, when it comes to women, misery loves company, and they don't like seeing other women happy. That's what it is. So you see that in those situations to where a woman will be happy with a guy and maybe she have one issue and she go to talk to her friends. Her friends, oh, get rid of that nigga. Get out there. And they trying to get her back single so she could go and live a single life and hit the bars and shake her ass in the club and shit like that with the other single miserable bitches out of the friend group. That's what they do. That's what and it's a whole bunch of other stuff that they do. Like fuck they friends, man, and stuff like that. But we not gonna get that deep. So that's a popular narrative with them and how they actually operate. And what Six is trying to do is flip the script and use that for men telling other men not to get married. Like that's not even close to the reason why. We're gonna keep reading. So the next comment says, so men are supposed to commit to women that have a roster. Okay, exactly. So the next set of comments says, I like Six, but she doesn't understand how a man's life could get turned upside down after a divorce. Of course she doesn't. She doesn't care. And that's the thing. That's the place where a lot of this advice is coming from. It's coming from a place of be cautious, don't get fucked up. It doesn't benefit you. It's too risky. That's where most of this advice is coming from. But instead of addressing that, instead of addressing points that are tremendous talking points amongst like the biggest YouTubers, like I'm talking about like mediocre tutorials and reviews, Trusha Zed, fucking lead attorney, Coach Greg Adams, like instead of like just all these people, Marquette from Saint in the Center, just everybody big. You could even go to the white spaces and talk about fucking anybody from the 21 convention, Rich Cooper, Rolo Tomasi, whoever, bruh. Like all of these people are some of the biggest influencers in the man space, as far as Red Pill or Dayton or Manosphere, however you want to paint the picture. And they all have a lot of the same talking points. And guess what? There are a lot of even celebrity horror stories when it comes to divorce that a lot of these people highlight. But instead of highlighting, actual points that people are making, she just pulls some fucking shit from the depths of her asshole. So the next comment, single mom tells black women to have a roster. Now, this is the thing. Because when I went to get these comments, I was like, man, is she married, bruh? No, she's not married. She has a kid. She's not even dating nobody right now. The dude that I seen that she is dating, bruh, I don't know when that website was last updated. I went to his Instagram. I went to her Instagram. They don't got no pictures of each other on none of their stuff, bro. So she's single. She's more than likely single. But she is a single baby mom, 35 years old. Giving marriage advice, giving advice on how to get married when the most that she's been is engaged. She never made it to the altar, buddy. See, it's really funny to me because it's like I'm not on here giving marriage advice and stuff like that. I may say be cautious and vet women and stuff like that's what I say. But when you get on here telling people this is how you go about finding a husband when you haven't found a husband. Let me give a hypothetical analogy for this as far as a contrast. If I'm in my friend group and somebody is a basketball player and they're trying to make the NBA and he's struggling making it to the NBA and he's talking to me about this all the time and I say something like, well, how many shots is you shooting? I'm shooting 200 a day. Well, you need to up that to 500 because I seen Dwayne Wade shoot 500 or da-da-da-da-da, whatever the case may be. That's cool advice. He knows exactly who I am because I'm his friend. I am not an authority. He knows this, so he's going to take what I say with a grain of salt. So it is what it is. When you get on the internet and you get in front of these mics on these podcasts and stuff like that, and you build a platform and you got a Patreon and you got 6 links in your bio, you got a link tree and you doing one-on-one consultations or whatever she doing. Like you gotta be qualified at some point to be given certain advice. And you not being married, you not really qualified to tell people how to get a husband. Just like me deciding to get on the internet and say, yo, I'm the dumper and I am an NBA skills trainer that doesn't train any NBA players, but I'm going to tell you how to get the skills to get to the NBA. And I just start making videos and I keep saying like, yo, this is how you get to the NBA. You're going to have to shoot this many shots. You're going to have to shoot your shot like this. Like, bro, I'm not an authority. I am not an authority. I've never made it to the NBA. Let's start there. I've never played high level basketball, so I've never even sniffed the NBA. What are we talking about? This chick has never been married. She's a baby mom. And the most that she's been is engaged. And if we look at engagement, Like, what would you, if we compare that in the contrast to basketball, what is that? Is that playing at a D1 college? Well, that's cool. You played at a D1 college. Congratulations. You didn't make the draft. And you now have to find a career elsewhere outside of basketball, or you got to play overseas or something like that. That's what it is. So she's not really an authority to be telling people how to get married and stuff like that. Let's continue, though. Roster confuses women more. We just need arrangements back. Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie. That's a bar, even though I wouldn't get no arranged marriage. I wouldn't really advocate for no arranged marriage, but it's like, bruh, this is what's missing. And I don't want to go deep on this because we got more comments to get to. And I don't know a better way to word this, and I'm not going to try and figure out how to articulate it better. But what's missing is the boundaries, the box, the inbounds. We have gotten way out of bounds as a society as far as this hedonism and this hookup culture and all of that stuff. Because this is what it is. People want to play both sides. These chicks want to be prostitutes. And these chicks want to run around talking about, I'm not doing no 50-50, dude got to pay me. So they want to run around smashing all these dudes. They want to run around messing with the ballers whenever they get a chance. They want to run around engulfing cocks. They want to do that. But then they want to flip the switch. They want to flip the switch. And then all of a sudden become wives. You have ruined yourself. As a woman, you have ruined yourself. So let's just get that out the way. Like they want to have it both ways, but you can't. Now, when it comes to men, you can say the same thing to some extent, but I'm going to tell you where it differs. You got dudes who want to be the marathon man and just running through these chicks like a finish line. And they just running through all of these chicks. And I'm going to be honest. If you do that as a guy and you getting everything that you want out of chicks for the most part, without even being committed to them, and this is the other thing, these guys also sleep with a lot of dudes' girls. So they see that a lot of these chicks is disloyal and stuff like that. And even then, this isn't a large percentage of guys living like this. I don't think, like 40% of men is not living like this. And you just got to keep it a being with you. So not even 50% of men is living like this. But you got these guys doing this. And they don't really see much of an incentive until they damn Bilzerian. Like, damn, I done fucked 40,000 chicks. And I want something real now. It's hard for these guys to find incentive to be married. Because it's like what is the point? What is the purpose? And they have to like fuck the whole world to figure out, you know what? I would rather just deal with one chick that's gonna have my back at this point. Like pussy don't even move me at this point no more. It just don't. And the reason I have to mention that side of the spectrum as far as men is because living like that is way out of bounds. Just me being real. If we going by like what the Bible's saying, how shit used to go, and he's mentioning arrangements and things like that, you know, in other societies, that shit, like guys are not getting 100 bodies, 200 bodies, and that's like normal to any degree. In some of these places or in some of these times when people were, you know, doing arranged marriages or just we had more marriages and stuff like that. Because I remember I seen a statistic, something like in the 40s, like 80 or people who were born in the 40s, 80% or 90% of that generation was married. As far as people who were born in that generation, once they came of age around the 60s, 90% of them was married. When we look at this generation, it's something like 30%, like the millennials or something, like 30%. It's a low percentage. And it comes down to a culture shift. I said I wasn't going to go deep, but I do want to say the difference as far as like men and women in comparison when we talk about all this shit. Men's perspectives might get messed up from, you know, sleeping with a lot of chicks. But the one thing that doesn't happen is it doesn't ruin them in a way to where, number one, women don't want them. It doesn't ruin them in a way to where women don't want them. Women compete for the guys that are the most desired. That's why social proof is a thing. That's why pre-selection is a thing, et cetera, et cetera. I don't got to break that down. But the other thing is, the shit just weighs heavier on women when we talk about psychology and stuff like that. Women came up with the concept, and this is a new age concept. It's not rooted in any religion, any spirituality that is ancient or anything. They came up with the concept, this new age concept of soul ties. They came up with the concept of soul ties, and they want to try and tell you that applies to dude. Ain't no motherfucking dudes like, oh man, I feel good. Like, fuck out of here, man. Niggas be fucking all types of chicks in the club, pouring champagne on their face and nothing on their face later and going about their day. And they did it all raw. And they be cool with, bruh, dude, ain't no fucking, no. Chicks feel more attached when it comes to sex. You could go and do your research and all that stuff. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And I know I dragged this out, but I had to give you at the end that difference between men and women as far as like men fucking a bunch of chicks. It's not going to absolutely destroy a man, but a chick getting fucked by a bunch of dudes, it's going to destroy her. It's going to destroy. You can go and find all types of videos of chicks talking about, oh yeah, I wish I hadn't, all this stuff. You could go and find a bunch of videos on that. But let's get back to these comments, man, because I done went like all the way deep. I agree with everything but the roster. All right, so let's get to her comment. So she decided to comment on it, Six to Goddess, and she said, oh, the men's with a Z are big mad. They want to be able to keep wasting women's time, messing around and playing for years. Ladies, pay attention to how many men took the time out of their day to comment contrarian. That tells you the truth. Single until married, period. Now, again, this is from a woman who is 35, who you could debate whether she hit the wall or not. But no matter what you say, when a chick hit 30, that's the fourth quarter. If we talking about capitalizing on your youth and stuff like that, getting married, getting the best prospect you can, your 30s is the fourth quarter. And y'all could debate about that in the comments or whatever you gonna do, but like, oh man, 38 or 31, no, 30. And you could even say, if you want to debate against that, you could say 30s is overtime, but no, I don't think so. I personally don't think so. So this is a woman that is past her prime, not married, giving advice, saying single till married. How is that working out for you? How is that working out for you? It's so ridiculous, but we don't got to dwell on that because I already, touched on that. What were the comments that I just read saying? Because what she's trying to say is that these men want to waste women's time. Men are like commenting contrary because they want to waste women's time. What she didn't do in the clip and what she didn't do in the comments is directly address what the men were saying and give a strong rebuttal to the points that they were making. The points that men were making in the comments that you've seen all over the comments is 2 points. Number one, marriage destroys some men, so that is why some men don't recommend marriage. But the other one that you've seen over and over was roster. Men have a problem with a woman having a roster. I don't even look at that clip and say that the overall point was wasting a guy's or wasting a girl's time. That was one point as far as her saying, 5 years ago you could date like that, but now it's crunch time. You got to start dating. Like, that was the only thing to where she mentioned time. She made a false point that some men rebutted, which was, oh yeah, men is telling you not to get married because they don't want to see other men be successful, which is fucking stupid. With all the shit out here, with all the arguments, that is just stupid. That is flat out stupid. And I'm not saying that she is stupid. Didn't disrespect her one time in this video, but that is a fucking stupid point. And so guys rebutted that. And as far as this roster situation, guys don't want women who are ran through. Guys don't want women who are not going to be exclusive with them. If we're talking about dating for marriage, you have some dating coaches, and, you know, it might be the Christian dating coach. It might be the, you know, dating coach just like on his Moisture Master ass shit. You know, it might be Steve Harvey, whoever it is. These guys will say, date intentional. I'm even with her saying get on the phone, I'm not against that. If y'all want to have, because I do that, keeping it a G. Like, if y'all want to have conversations on the phone and figure out where each other's head is at before y'all even get to dating, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But you thinking you need to talk to 18 dudes or 7 dudes or 3 dudes at the same time? No. No. You not asking the right questions. You not going through the dating process the right way to where you think you got to have 5, 6, 7 dudes and stuff like that. And the main issue that I personally have with this is these chicks be fucking, man. We not even gonna sugarcoat this shit. We not gonna mess around. We not gonna, oh man, because you know I said earlier she didn't say to fuck them, but listen, man. Listen, man, we gotta keep it a beam, man. These chicks is fucking. They faking, bro. These chicks be fake. These chicks will tell you that they celibate. These chicks will tell you they have been celibate for 3 months, 6 months. 3 is typically the magic number when it comes to everything in women. 3 kids, 3 baby dads, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, these chicks is fucking, man. Don't let these chicks fool you. Don't let these chicks tell you they've been celibate and they've been on their journey. Like, they full of shit, bro. They absolutely full of shit. They full of shit. So I don't have no more input for this because it's a real bullshit clip. And even the comments, she didn't directly address anything. She tried to gaslight the comments into saying that, oh, you know, look at the men who are commenting contrary and they just want to waste your time. No, they were rebuttaling what you were saying. And they didn't say anything about time. So with that being said, man, like, chicks is gullible as fuck and they will follow anybody, bro. They will follow anybody. Because how the fuck do she got a following and she kicking that type of shit, man? Yeah, I'm done for today, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gone.